Hello and happy Sunday. This video is coming out a little late today because I've been driving. I left Flagstaff early this morning after some little trauma with Bearheart. He loved the campground so much he did not want to leave, and he jumped out the window apparently as I was pulling away. Luckily, I only got 5 miles down the road because I had to get gas and realized there was no cat in the back seat. And so I had to head back to the campground. And I got about a half a mile away and the phone started ringing. It was one of the hosts calling to let me know they had found the cat. Of course, I couldn't answer the phone because I was driving. And as I was pulling into the campground, the other host, who was actually in the campground with him, tried to call me as I was pulling up, and I was like, I'm here, I know he was. And she goes, yeah, I came to clean up the campsite and try to level it out and everything else. And this little tiny black head just popped up from behind the rock, and we're like, oh no. She said, so we're glad you came back to get him. I said, oh yeah, I wouldn't leave him behind. So we had a little drama this morning, but we are now back in New Mexico. I'm actually in Grants right now because there's a severe thunderstorm warning that came out, and I'm not about to try to drive in it to get to Albuquerque. So we'll finish the rest of the drive in the mornings. This way I get a chance to do the reading. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you like what you see, you like the videos, and you want to be able to see more of them or notified, please consider hitting the subscribe button. That way anytime a new video comes up, you'll be notified. And it does help the channel. I'm trying to grow it and reach as many people spiritually as I can. And of course a big truck has to pull up behind me. So anyway, I would really appreciate it, and so would Bearheart. He was in the video before I turned it on, and now he went down and hid a little bit. He might pop back in again, you never know. So anyway, as always, I always ask, what does the collective need to know for this week? And then pull cards and determine. Sometimes they come off the top of the deck. Today it was like, need one from the top, one from the middle, and one toward the bottom. So we'll see what happens. This week I'm going to try to read through the Gateway of Light Activation. My left eye is acting up a little bit. That's another reason why I stopped. But there's been a lot of energy shifts this week. Ever since the full moon and the Lion's Gate, the animals especially have been extremely active. And I'm going to do a video on my experiences over the last 2 weeks with the falcon, with the squirrels. Yeah, I have a stowaway in my trunk that I'm trying to convince him to leave. I've named him Guido for now. He's the cutest. He's probably about this big, the cutest little mouse you've ever seen. And he just sits there when I open the trunk and looks at me. But I'm not about to reach in there and try to grab him because I don't want to get bit. I've tried to talk to him that he really needs to get out of my trunk. He ate all my crackers. What's left? But I'm going to do a video on the animals that I've encountered, especially a lot of the coyotes and what they were up to, the mountain lion that showed up. Luckily he didn't come into camp, or she didn't come into camp. The peregrine falcon, the hummingbird, the squirrels, the mouse, and I forgot what the first part of it is, but it was a goldfinch. Literally came right into my door because it was open like it is right now, and it flew right in here, got my attention, and then flew out. So we've had a lot of animal activity, so I would like to do a video on the messages that all these animals were bringing in. So that will be coming up within the next day or so. So, oh, this is a nice card. So asking what the collective needs to know, what they need to focus on, and what's important for them this week. We got Memories of Atlantis. Some of you might remember your past lives there. Some of you might. Bearheart was in Atlantis. He worked with crystals when he was there. He wasn't a very good person, because and that's a story of itself. That's going to go into the cat book, because he did some not so nice things with crystals. But who of you have been in Atlantis? Who do you remember your lifetime in Atlantis? Who you were, what you did? Oh, this is a cool one too. The solar light upgrade. And that kind of makes sense when you come through the full moon that we had, the Lion's Gate, the portal, and just all the activity with the planets that are going on right now. So there's a solar light upgrade for everybody who is paying attention, who's watching the channel, who's getting the messages. Oh, now this is kind of cool, different. The Mitakuye light codes. Haven't seen that card before. That is an awesome card. Let me pull it in a little. The Mitakuye. So, let's see if my eye is going to behave itself enough for me to be able to read what she has to say about these, because these are all new cards to me. I haven't seen these before. Okay. Memories of Atlantis. Merkaba. Memories of Atlantis. The message. Because she also talks about other different things, legends, how to connect. So there's all different, but there's always a message at the end that the card is trying to convey information for all of us to know, to acknowledge, and to adhere to if we can, if it feels right. Because just because these cards are so-called pulled for the collective, you take what fits, what resonates with you, and you leave the rest. So, and that happens in any reading. For anything you do, not everything might not fit for you. It might be like, I don't think so, or maybe not at this time. But you take what resonates and leave the rest. So the message from the Memories of Atlantis: you are being transported through a gateway to connect with ancient Atlantis. Know that by drawing this card today, you are receiving blessings from the Atlanteans, for the Atlantean Council of Light, who are dedicated to the evolution of the soul. You are becoming aware of your gifts, and this is an exciting time, but also a time when the energies of your ego can become loud and obnoxious. Mine can be like that a lot of times. Know that this gateway is appearing to remind you to stay aligned with the highest good and rooted in the energies of devotion. Then there can be a great coming together of the human and the spiritual, and you can live in a more evolved way. So that's what the Atlanteans want us to be aware of. And I think that's pretty cool that there is a key up there, because, and I'm going to do a video on this too, I had a very, very special message from Cathedral Rock this past week that had me in tears. But it's also helping me move forward, because it's finally released the pull of always having to go back to Arizona, because I'm done with the desert, and I've known that for years. So she gave me a releasing ceremony. She gave me my song back that she's been holding for me as the council that I am a part of, a council of 12. So I'm going to do a video on that also, so that you can see again how we are so connected to this earth, why we keep coming back to help her ascend and to help humanity get back into the energy of love. So that video also is going to be forthcoming as I start these new traveling things that I'm going to be doing, which I'll be talking about too, because it's part of what Cathedral Rock and I have been discussing, what my guides have been discussing, what the I have a new Ascended Master that I'm working with has come in, and so there's all kinds of different things that are happening. But the first thing is to get back to my storage unit in Albuquerque so I can get some winter clothes so that I can head on to the next phase of the fun. So now we have the soul, oops, wrong card. I was going to give the soul star. The soul light upgrade. And again, this is the card. Nice, bright. And let's see what he says about this. So the message from the solar light: the light of the great central sun is shining on you, activating you to push onward and create. Wasn't I just talking about that with Cathedral Rock, saying it's time to go onward, forward, march? Well, maybe not march, but still moving forward into new energies, into alignment. So he's saying, push onward and create. This is a perfect time to move forward with projects, goals, and intentions. Align your energy with whatever you are ready to create and experience. Focus on what you are ready to grow and where you are ready to expand. As you focus on your goals, you are giving them energetic encouragement, to flourish and open, like the warm summer sun kissing the ground, encouraging the flowers to grow and bloom. That sunlight has arrived. It's in you now. So again, that's a pretty cool card. I like it. Show the whole card. And on the bottom of it, it says solar plexus chakra, inner fire, and willpower. And on the bottom of that first card, the memories of Atlantis, it says spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. Oh, that's a little blurry. Maybe you can see that. So those are the first two. Now the third one, which I think is extremely interesting, the Anunnaki light codes. And the words on here are energetic shift, new information, and end of a cycle. So let's see what they have to say. I've heard a lot about them, but I haven't really studied them that much. So let's see what message they are wanting us to focus on or wanting us to know. So the message: great change is coming to you, but this can only occur if you are willing to shift your perception. You may be experiencing resistance to change, but please know this is simply fear of the new, not intuition. If you are wondering what is the best course of action, the Anunnaki are encouraging you to go with the new. Old systems, old ways of being, and old ways of doing things must be released if you are to evolve. Change can bring a sense of vulnerability, but will also allow you to make a deeper connection to your feelings, gifts, and what is important to you. You are standing at a gateway of pure potential that will be ignited as soon as you move through this necessary change. Be open to new information, new processes, and new ideas. You are part of the new energy upon the earth. And that kind of ties in with, I wonder if they were talking to, Cathedral Rock, because that, again, that ties in to what she's talking about. Going forward, new, releasing the old, because the way we were, the way we have been, and that's what's been coming up a lot for me, is changing your perception, your perspective. So the way you look at things, if you just tweak something a little bit and look at it in a different way, meaning a more positive way, things will arrive quicker, because you'll be more in alignment with your soul and what you're here to do, instead of saying, oh, but, because the minute you say but, it kind of negates everything that you said ahead of time. So you're like, yes, I want this, this, and this, but, so you change your perspective. It's like, I was listening to somebody the other day who was, it was at church last week, where she was talking about this, where the little girl or the daughter of the family was complaining, oh my God, my mom makes me come in at 9 o'clock every night. I don't have any fun. I can't go out with my friends. Wah, wah, wah. My mom makes me do my homework and, sits there and watches me and then checks it. And my mom makes me clean the house or wash the dishes. And then she was like, but what if you change the perspective? What if that girl instead says, my mom wants me home at 9 o'clock because she loves me and she wants me safe. My mom makes sure I do my homework every single day because she wants me to get a better education and a good job. My mom wants me to learn responsibility. That's why she's having me help with the housework and doing things. So you see how when you change the verbiage and the perspective of how you see what somebody is saying or asking of you, how it changes the tone. And that is what Spirit has been trying to give me. That's what the knock apparently on the head was about, was to get me to change my perspective. And then Kuthumi has walked in, Ascended Master Kuthumi, to work with me. Cathedral Rock finally channeled a message through like, hey, you don't belong in Arizona anymore. Stop trying to come here. Change your look. What is it the soul is asking? It wants green. It wants water. You're not going to find that here in the desert. go back to where we suggested you go to several years ago, because that place is still waiting for you. So when you change your perspective, change your attitude, then things start happening quicker and for the betterment of not just yourself, but for those that you're here to serve. And that includes the animals. You know, they are trusting us to take care of them, to teach them as they grow on their journey, just as much as they are teaching us on our journey. So it gives you a lot to think about, but those are pretty awesome cards for this week. The memories of Atlantis. Pay attention, see what comes up in your dreams. The solar light upgrade. Pay attention to your solar plexus, because that's where your power resides. Make sure it's all yours, that you didn't take somebody else's, or that you didn't give yours away to somebody else. If you did, call it back. It doesn't belong to them, it's yours. And then the Anunnaki light codes. That is just an awesome card. And that's energetic shifts, new information, and end of a cycle. So that is the reading for the collective for this week. And as I said, if you like these videos and you want to be connected or be notified when new ones come out, please hit the like and subscribe button. Share the videos with people that you know that are on a spiritual path, that are looking for guidance and looking for information. And as I said, I will be posting a couple of those other videos about the animals that I encountered this last 2 weeks and what the messages they were giving me, besides being funny, stealing my food. And then I'm also going to do that video about the channeling from Cathedral Rock and what her message was for me going forward. So pay attention to your guides and your angels and your dreams, so that you know that you're on the right path, that you're on the, as we call, the red road of spirit. And remember, Mitakuye Oyasin, we are all related. We are related to the rocks. That's why I can communicate and hear messages from Cathedral Rock. I can hear messages from the animals, because we're all connected. It's just a matter of choosing to reconnect to the world around you. Reconnect to Mother Earth, Mahaina, Pachamama, Gaia, however you want to call her by. And send love to all beings on this planet. And also send love to Mother Earth, Mahaina. She really needs it. We all do. So every chance you get, send love out. Doesn't cost anything. And you receive so much more back. And remember, walk in beauty, my friends. Always walk in beauty. We'll see you next week for another edition of the weekly oracle card readings from Spirit for the collective. But have a great rest of your Sunday and have a great week. I'll see you later.